You ever heard the name Jennifer Schuett?
Yes.
Did you ever have occasion to come in contact with her?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
No.
This person here is Dennis Earl Bradford, who will break down in just a minute from now after learning that the 8-year-old girl who he kidnapped, raped and slit her throat is still alive after 20 years.
In a small town in Dickinson, Texas, 8-year-old Jennifer Schuett lived with her single mother, Ellen, in a small apartment in a bad neighborhood. As far back as Jennifer could remember, she found comfort in going to bed with her mom at night, as Ellen was all she had. Jennifer described herself as a curious little girl who just loved life, school, and learning. On August 9th, 1990, Ellen exceptionally asked Jennifer to sleep in her own room that night because she needed to wake up early for work the next morning. After reading for a bit, Jennifer fell asleep in her bedroom. Sometime in the early hours of August 10th, a man abducted Jennifer right from her room after entering through the open window. When Ellen couldn't find Jennifer in the morning and saw the open window, she immediately called the police. This sparked an investigation and search by the small Dickinson Police Department. Late that evening, a group of children playing in a nearby field accidentally discovered Jennifer's brutalized body. She had been viciously attacked, her throat was cut, and she showed signs of sexual assault. Incredibly, Jennifer was still alive but unable to speak due to her injuries. At the hospital, fighting for her life, the brave 8-year-old found ways to communicate key details about her attacker and the crime to aid the investigation despite her critical condition. What she vividly recounted through her writings and as a forensic artist would end up being pivotal pieces of evidence in one of the most amazing victim-solved cases in modern history. While Jennifer recovered in the hospital, the Dickinson Police Department urgently tried extracting any information they could from her about the horrific attack. Detective Ralph Garcia stated, "We knew we had a survivor that couldn't speak, so the challenges were to extract information from her, an 8-year-old child." Since Jennifer couldn't verbally describe her attacker, she resorted to handwritten notes to her mother, who then passed them to the officers. It was mainly me writing notes to my mother, and she would hand them to the officer outside, Jennifer explained. Despite her immense trauma, Jennifer proved to be remarkably detail-oriented and observant for her age. She vividly recounted how the man initially lied to her, saying he was an undercover police officer before revealing his sinister intentions. Recalling his appearance, Jennifer wrote that the attacker looked greasy and may have had a scar or something on his face. She documented mundane details like the brand of cigarettes he smoked and beer cans in his vehicle, anything to aid in identifying him. Most crucially, Jennifer claimed to remember the name her attacker provided, Dennis. "I just remember remembering his name, and so I wrote, he said his name was Dennis." The police brought in renowned forensic artist Lois Gibson to have Jennifer describe the attacker's face. Unable to speak, Jennifer painstakingly viewed reference images and pointed out individual features like eyes, nose, and hair to construct an extraordinarily accurate sketch. "I turned it around, and when she saw it, she shook her head yes," Gibson recalled of that powerful moment. "I was pretty confident that the sketch looked like the person who had taken me," Jennifer confirmed. After a miraculous recovery, Jennifer was discharged from the hospital to return home and restart normal life, as much as possible for the young survivor of such heinous crimes. She began 3rd grade on time that fall, with police guards present at her school for protection since her attacker remained at large. "Every day growing up for me was like I was on a hunt, looking for a suspect," Jennifer said, haunted by the unknown. "Thinking it could be anyone, the neighbor, someone at the grocery store. Is he watching us? Is he going to come back and finish me off?" Jennifer attempted to move forward, becoming a children's librarian and marrying her husband, Jonathan. But the trauma never left. As normal as I tried to live life, the unknown could just drive me crazy at times, not knowing who did this. For nearly 2 decades, Jennifer's case went cold with no major updates until Detective Tim Cromie took it over in 2009. He made Jennifer a vow: "I will do whatever I can in my power until the end of my career to get you the answers you need." Partnering with FBI agent Richard Renison, the investigators re-examined stored evidence from 1990 using updated DNA technology. Finally, a hit emerged for a name: Dennis Earl Bradford. The match not only corroborated Jennifer's recollection of her attacker's first name from 19 years prior, but Renison was stunned by another connection. When I opened the email with his old driver's license photo, I was floored. It was almost as if Lois Gibson was drawing a sketch based on that photo. It was that accurate. With both DNA and an eerily matching mugshot, they had their prime suspect, Dennis Earl Bradford, an Arkansas man previously convicted of another violent kidnapping and sexual assault in 1997, just 7 years after attacking Jennifer. Tracking down Bradford's residence, police staged a surprise traffic stop and arrested him. Taking him into custody, they knew this was their best chance to finally get a confession and a clear path to justice for Jennifer's lifelong nightmare. In the intense interrogation, investigators deployed Jennifer's own words about the crime relentlessly against Bradford until he finally cracked. "Okay, forgive me, Mama. I pulled that little girl out of that window and put her in my car. I told that little girl that I was a police officer, that everything would be okay. I pulled off on this little road, and that little girl, she was so scared. I just lost it. I was like a savage animal. I took that little girl out there and I raped her and I cut her throat. I don't know why." After 19 years, Jennifer at last had the answers and confirmation that her resilient, traumatic memories were real, thanks to her own refusal to go silent as a child. With Dennis Bradford's haunting confession secured on audio and video, investigators swiftly made the monumental arrest public. They scheduled a press conference where Jennifer could finally introduce herself to the world as the brave survivor she was. Taking the podium, Jennifer proclaimed through tears of relief, "I'm not a victim, but instead victorious. I waited 19 years, 2 months, and 3 days to find out your last name and for you to be caught." For nearly 2 decades, Jennifer had to live with the anguish of not knowing who viciously attacked her or if he was still a threat. But through her sheer determination to one day face her assailant, she played an instrumental role in bringing Dennis Earl Bradford to justice. With an airtight DNA match and Bradford's own admissions, prosecutors felt confident pursuing maximum punishment. Jennifer began diligently preparing her victim impact statement, a chance to confront her attacker for the lifetime of suffering he inflicted. "I remember staying up late endless nights trying to perfect my victim impact statement," Jennifer shared. "Writing and erasing and writing again, just trying to get it perfect. I had 19 years worth of things to say." She envisioned reading the words directly to Bradford in court, finally regaining the voice that he attempted to permanently silence as an 8-year-old. Jennifer hoped this act of reclaiming her power could bring closure and validate her agonizing journey. However, fate had other plans. Just days before the trial was set to begin in August 2010, 20 years to the date after Jennifer's attack, word came that Dennis Bradford had been found hanging in his jail cell. He had committed suicide, depriving Jennifer of her day in court. When he was arrested, the first thing I said was, "Please don't let him kill himself," Jennifer lamented. And the only thing I can describe is devastation. I felt like everything I had worked so hard for was just ripped away from me in an instant. With no other recourse, Jennifer instead traveled to Bradford's gravesite on the would-be trial date of August 10th. She tearfully read her prepared victim impact statement aloud at his grave, clinging to any shred of catharsis. "Dennis Bradford, you chose the wrong little 45-pound 8-year-old girl to try and murder. Because for 19 years, I've thought of you every single day and helped in searching for you. In my heart, I knew you were out there, alive. And now I know, listening to my heart all those years and never giving up on finding you, I was right." As Jennifer spoke those defiant words, a single fire ant bit her leg, the same tormentors that covered her body while she lay dying in that field at 8 years old. To Jennifer, it was a sign from God that the man who had tried to silence her had received her message loud and clear. Looking back, Jennifer has worked tirelessly to transform her suffering into a platform for giving voice to others. She remains deeply bonded with those who helped solve her case, like Detectives Cromie and Renison, and with the nurse who became family at her hospital bedside. Jennifer has become a passionate victim advocate, sharing her story in the hopes of inspiring others to use their voices and never give up on justice, no matter how long it takes. Most amazingly, Jennifer achieved the dream of motherhood that doctors insisted would be impossible after her horrific attack. Despite related infertility, she gave birth to 2 beautiful children, daughter Jenna and son Jonah. "It's like, pinch me, who would have thought that I'd have not 1 but 2 healthy children at the end of this?" Jennifer marveled. "They're really my happy ending." While her emotional scars remain, Jennifer's perseverance ensured her tragic past did not define her future. Her strength shines brightly as both a loving mother and a fierce voice for victims daring to rise above their circumstances victoriously. What do you think? Given Dennis Bradford's recorded confession and other overwhelming evidence, was justice ultimately served despite his suicide? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories of survivors overcoming life's greatest adversities through courage and hope. Until next time, stay safe out there.